I was running pre-flight checks on a trainer jet when Colonel Vance Reed, the camp's iron-fisted commander, slapped an eviction notice on my cockpit, claiming my basic skills didn't meet their elite standards. His boot was a missile aimed at grounding my wings. Vance didn't know I was Sarah, a 25-year-old pilot with a commercial license, 2,000 flight hours, a knack for aerobatics, and secret clearance to fly the Air Force's F-22 Raptor through my reserve unit. A simple woman from a small town, I'd joined Skyhaven to hone my skills, but my quiet demeanor hit a storm. His eviction wasn't just unfair, it was a challenge, and I was about to land an F-22 on their runway to prove him wrong. I stood by my jet, phone filming as fellow trainees, alerted by my group chat, gathered stunned. This wasn't just a kick-out, it was Vance's most arrogant move, blind to my Raptor access. My heart roared like a jet engine, but a sly grin crept in. He thought he could ground me? I was about to turn his camp into my runway, with an F-22 as my thunder. What unfolded wasn't just a comeback. It was a masterclass in aerial dominance, community grit, and cinematic justice that left Vance speechless, his camp humbled, and Skyhaven cheering. My ejection wasn't just a setback. It was his mistake, and my F-22 was the verdict. Vance's notice was his dumbest call, and my landing was about to shake his turf. Skyhaven Airfield was a high-stakes pilot training camp. Its dusty runways, hangars, and control towers a crucible for the nation's best flyers. Nestled in Nevada's desert, it was a place of relentless drills, cutting-edge jets, and fierce competition, where trainees battled for top ranks. My bunk in the barracks, surrounded by sagebrush and jet fuel fumes, was my home base, a quiet corner where I studied flight manuals. I'm Sarah, a 25-year-old pilot with a commercial license, 2,000 flight hours, aerobatic expertise, and Air Force Reserve clearance to fly the F-22 Raptor with a fictional understated fire. Raised in a small town, I joined Skyhaven to sharpen my skills, my simple ponytail and soft-spoken nature masking a razor-sharp instinct. I'd outflown cocky rivals in practice dogfights, but my humility made me a target for Vance's elitism. My F-22 access, earned through reserve missions, was my ace, unknown to the camp. Colonel Vance Reed, late 50s, was a domineering commander, his aviator sunglasses a shield for his rigid control. A former fighter pilot, he favored flashy trainees, dismissing me as basic despite my perfect scores. His eviction, backed by a clique of instructors, relied on fabricated skill critiques, blind to my footage and connections. Key allies included Mia, my bunkmate and a fearless crop duster pilot, Jake, a drone operator with tech skills, Vince, a retired test pilot mentoring me, Ellen, my sharp-eyed mom and former air traffic controller, Tom, an environmentalist tracking Skyhaven's land use, Linda, a local mayor supporting my fights, Lily, a mechanic who fixed my jet, and Marcus, a Marine pilot and friend from reserve duty. Captain Harris, my Air Force contact, could pull strings, and Agent Laura Chun, an FBI friend, was ready for legal escalation. The Skyhaven trainee chat, our digital hub, would amplify the fight. The setting was a scorching May afternoon in 2025 at Skyhaven's main hangar, where Vance's notice burned and my phone recorded. Trainees, pinged by my chat, gathered in shock. Vance's eviction was a power play, and his ignorance of my F-22 access was his fatal error. This wasn't just about a kick-out. It was Vance's assault on my dreams. For me, it was a chance to reclaim my wings, prove my skill, and unite my allies. As I filmed, I knew this fight would echo my grit and soar with our spirit. Vance's eviction was a blatant injustice. Unfit for elite training, his notice declared, citing basic skills despite my flawless record. I filmed, voice calm. "This is my jet, Vance. Your notice is nonsense." My phone caught his smug grin outside the hangar. I texted Harris, who growled, "Fabricated grounds? He's grounded." Ellen sent my flight logs, saying Vance is outflown. Linda vowed to bring FAA officials, noting, "Kicking out an F-22 pilot? He's done." I called Chun, who snapped, "This smells like discrimination. FBI can dig." Trainees swarmed, filming the notice. My chat post exploded. Vance kicked me out. I'm landing an F-22 on their runway. Hashtags Vance boots Sarah and hashtag F-22 comeback trended, hitting 200 million views. Jake livestreamed from the barracks, showing my footage and logs. Skyhaven flies with Sarah, he said, hitting 205 million views. Lily handed out flyers about FAA rules, explaining Sarah's a top pilot. Vance is a bully. Vance's instructor clique, a trio with signs, elite only, tried to defend him, but trainees drowned them out, chanting Sarah's wings. Mia shared my Raptor clearance, proving my clout. I shared my clip. Vance's eviction's a lie. I'm bringing an F-22. The video hit 2.8 billion views. Marcus arrived, saying he targeted me too. I'm Bakinsara. His Marine grit rattled the clique. Harris's Air Force team and Chen's FBI unit arrived, reviewing the notice. Baseless grounds, Chun said, noting discrepancies. I flashed my Raptor clearance, live streaming. Vance kicked me out, but I fly F-22s. The stream hit 14 billion views, with news choppers circling. Comments flooded. Sarah's a legend. Vance is toast. Linda arrived with an FAA investigator, announcing Vance's eviction violates regulations. The crowd chanted fly, fly, as the clique fled. The FBI found Vance in his office, clutching a fake skills report. Harris detained him as I coordinated with my reserve unit to secure an F-22 for a demo flight. Vance rambled, "It's our camp," but Chin held up my logs and footage. "You're under investigation," she said. The chat planned a sky-free day at Skyhaven, with flyovers and music. Vance's lie about skills collapsed. My record was perfect. The stage was set, not just to clear my name, but to humble his camp and rally Skyhaven around my landing. His notice was his end, and my F-22 was our victory. Skyhaven was a tarmac of justice. Vance stood detained in his office, sweating, as Harris and Chun reviewed his fake report. My F-22, cleared for a demo, was en route from Nellis Air Force Base, its stealth frame my trump card. The livestream hit 15 billion views, with hashtag VanceBootsSarah and hashtag F-22 comeback trending globally. Trainees packed the runway, waving signs, Sarah's wings. No elite cliques. News crews broadcast live, anchors calling it a pilot's F-22 versus camp tyranny. The air roared, and I was ready to land Vance's downfall. Tom addressed the crowd, voice steady. Sarah's skills are elite, proven by her logs. Vance's eviction is a sham. He showed my footage and FAA records, proving his bias. Trainees cheered, sharing the clips online. Ellen handed out flyers, saying, Sarah flies Raptors. Vance grounded her. The chat surged. Vance is a fraud. Sarah's our hero. A viral tweet read, Camp kicks out F-22 pilot. She's landing one on their turf. Hashtag F-22 comeback. Vance yelled, it's my camp. But Chin held up my logs, stating, you fabricated grounds for eviction. His face fell. He hadn't known my clearance. Aviation groups joined X, posting, Vance's attack on Sarah's wings is a disgrace. Support Skyhaven. The Change.org petition, Justice for Sarah's Flight, hit 205 million signatures with comments like Sarah's a legend and Vance is done. Linda spoke to reporters, voice firm. Sarah's skill and grit are our pride. Vance's bias threatens us all. She announced an FAA motion to suspend Skyhaven's funding and audit its practices. The crowd roared, chanting Sky Free. The clique leaked text disavowing Vance. He's rogue. Trainees guarded the runway, as Vince's pilot pals buzzed overhead in support. I grabbed the mic, heart pounding. Vance kicked me out, but I'm a Raptor pilot, and I'm landing an F-22 here. I proposed a Sky-free day at Skyhaven, with flyovers, music, and a fundraiser for pilot training, inviting all. The crowd cheered, volunteering to clear the runway. I shared online. Vance's eviction failed. Join us for Sky Free Day. The live stream hit 16 billion views, with hashtag Sky Free Day trending. Comments flooded. Sarah's unstoppable. Vance is grounded. Vance made a last stand, yelling at Shun, "I'm in charge." But Rachel, my attorney, arrived with a federal complaint. "You're investigated for bias and fraud," she said, as Harris escorted him out. The crowd parted, phones filming as my F-22 appeared on the horizon, its sleek form glinting. Jake's stream hit 30 billion views, with comments like, "Here she comes." "Vance is done." News ran headlines. 25-year-old pilot lands F-22 after camp eviction. Lily organized trainees to paint sky-free signs, while Tom tied it to the desert, saying Sarah protects our skies. Harris cleared the runway, and trainees cheered as I prepped for landing. Chun verified my clearance, and Linda promised FAA funding for a Skyhaven Valor sign, marking the camp's reform. The stage was set for a victory that would clear my name, humble Vance, and show Skyhaven's power. Vance was detained, but my F-22 landing would shock everyone. The Skyhaven runway roared with justice as I guided the F-22 in, its engines a symphony of power. The livestream hit 31 billion views, with hashtag VanceBootSarah and hashtag F22comeback trending worldwide. Trainees packed the tarmac, waving sky-free signs as news crews filmed. I sat in the cockpit, my roles as Raptor pilot and reservist now a verdict, my landing our blade, ready to bury Vance's arrogance. Judge Alvarez, overseeing the FAA hearing remotely, called order. "Colonel Reed, you're investigated for bias and fraud," he said. Rachel presented my footage, showing Vance's notice. "The plaintiff is an F-22 pilot with elite clearance," she said. The crowd cheered, phones filming for the chat, where comments surged. "Vance is done. Sarah's our sky." Shun testified, voice sharp. Vance's eviction violated FAA regulations and targeted a top pilot. She showed the fake report, sparking gasps. Linda announced the FAA's audit of Skyhaven and my reinstatement. The crowd chanted, "Fly, fly," as trainees waved painted jets, symbols of our win. Tom showed my logs and clearance, proving my skill. "Sarah's landing crushed him," he said, sparking applause. I unveiled a Skyhaven Valor sign sketch, FAA-backed, to mark the camp's reform. "This sky's mine, and Vance is wrong," I said, sharing it online, a wing under a federal seal. The chat erupted. "Perfect. Sarah's legacy." Alvarez reviewed the evidence, footage, logs, report, calling it undeniable. Vance, denying bias, claimed, "It's my standard." But Rachel played his notice, exposing his lies. Alvarez ruled. Reed is suspended, Skyhaven audited, Sarah reinstated with honors. The crowd roared as Vance slumped, grounded. My F-22 touchdown, a perfect landing that shook the tarmac. News ran it live. 25-year-old pilot lands F-22 after camp eviction. The crowd surged, music blaring, as Sky Free Day plans took shape. I gave a mic to Mia, who shone. "Sarah's wings are our pride," she said. Trainees hugged her, guarding the runway in solidarity. This wasn't just Vance's defeat. It was Skyhaven's triumph, proof our community could outshine elitism. As my jet stood proud, justice soared. Vance's suspension was Skyhaven's victory. News ran headlines like "Pilot lands F-22 after camp eviction" and "Sarah's Valor triumphs." The livestream hit 34 billion views, with hashtag F22comeback trending for weeks. Fan art of my Valor sign as a justice symbol flooded the chat, and aviation groups invited me to speak. Talk shows called, but I stayed grounded, saying this is about our skies. Sky Free Day was a sensation. Thousands joined, trainees, locals, Harris's team, watching flyovers, dancing, and unveiling the Skyhaven Valor sign. Lily's crew catered, and Tom led eco talks, tying the camp to the desert's balance. The event raised $17 million for pilot training, and FAA leaders hailed it as a model. The chat buzzed with photos. Sarah's wings shine. No more Vance cess. Skyhaven was reformed. Linda's motion audited its practices and barred biased evictions, with new FAA oversight. Vance was suspended indefinitely, banned from Skyhaven, and vanished to a desk job, reportedly arguing over rules. Don't boot like Vance became a camp joke, painted on hangers. My jet became a tourist draw, with visitors snapping Valor selfies. My training resumed, my F-22 demo earning me top honors. The barracks hosted Valor nights, with flight talks and music. Visitors flocked to Sarah's runway, boosting morale. Trainees brought gifts, mini wings, pilot patches, saying my fight inspired them. Tom's data showed the desert thriving, celebrated at a camp feast. The digital dossier, footage, logs, rulings was studied for FAA policy, influencing reform. Mia mentored new trainees, painting eco-signs for the camp. The chat planned a Valor Fest, with air shows, music, and jet demos, cementing our spirit. Sarah turned Vance's boot into our triumph. One post read, I hired rookies to assist my drills, giving them pride. At the fest, under a Valor Forever banner, Linda toasted, to Sarah, Mia, Marcus, and Sky Haven, where wings defeat tyrants. Fireworks burst, trainees danced, and the runway glowed. Vance's eviction had been a spark, but we'd built a legacy. My jet, my bunk, and my skies were our stronghold, proof no bully could clip our wings. As stars shone, I knew Sky Haven would always stand proud, soaring and unstoppable.